Hey guys, and happy Monday. This episode is a bit of a fun and funky and real as fuck one. This week, I started the episode with a random tangent on a problematic woman that I found on the internet. I had a lot of fun adding in audio clips and talking about something and someone that I don't think is great, but also is, slightly less depressing than the normal people and situations that we talk about. So the first 10 minutes is going to be kind of this interesting little pop culture recap. Let me know if you guys are interested in hearing more stuff like this, weird happenings on the internet and social media and in pop culture. I'd be very excited to do it, so I'd love to hear if it's something you guys are interested in. Also, we talk about the fact that we are going on a mental health break, and I am open about the fact that I relapsed last week, or I had a lapse in my sobriety. I do say during the episode that AA is not for me, and I explain why. And when I was listening back, I realized that there was a part where I said that a lot of people go to AA for community, and luckily I have some friends that know my situation and are very supportive that I can lean on. But I do want to acknowledge that I understand that that's not everyone's situation. I'm quite fortunate that I have supportive people in my life. So I'm going to put some resources in the show notes about some mental health stuff and about resources you can look into if you're struggling with addiction. And I just wanted to give this little note at the top since it's a little bit of a funky episode. And I did want to let you guys know that in the absence of me giving an alternative to AA in the episode, I will be putting some in the show notes. All right. Hope you enjoy.
That is so fucked up. It's fucked up. So fucked up. It is just so damn fucked up. That's fucked up.
Hey.
Hello. Hello. I have to admit that I said it like that because I've been watching YouTube videos, which also I know that I've said, hey guys, it can be good for your mental health to put on a funny video. Maybe put on puppies running around.
So I told you, funny animal videos.
You did tell me. And I was like, no, I want to see what's happening on the internet. And you guys, it's not necessarily true crime, but it is people
stick
being
with
the
puppies.
worst.
I found another category. Puppies howling, watching little baby puppies try to howl like they're wolves is adorable because it's this tiny little noise and the little thing looks so serious. And a lot of times they fall over because they can't balance when they lift their heads up. And it's adorable. Yes.
Nugget. And I'm talking about, I said, hello, because I was watching a video about this girl. Her name is Shanin Blake.
Oh.
Shannon. I don't know. But she, it's too much. She very much is cultural appropriating, every indigenous. She's just cherry picking and then making a fuck ton of money from doing that. And she also uses a lot of indigenous kind of wording and style, but then she has an OnlyFans, which I think is really distasteful considering the whole missing and murdered indigenous women.
Oh yeah, if she's
thing.
linking them especially.
Well, it's she's
so
putting on that kind of vibe. Well, she's putting on a hippie vibe, but she's, fucking cultural appropriate shopping in the meantime. But obviously she's stealing from a lot of indigenous cultures, and then she's cosplaying indigenous and has an OnlyFans.
It's a weird combo.
And I just think it's I think it's in poor taste. She also calls herself a savage in one of her songs.
No, that's gonna be a no.
I'm a bad bitch, powerful and savage.
Yeah, let's just.
She says ho'oponopono,
Ho'oponopono, please forgive because I am sorry.
which is
Hawaiian
a
expression.
Hawaiian term, which is a Hawaiian expression that has to do with forgiveness.
Mhm.
Like, and all of her songs sound the fucking same. I don't get it. She says that she's been time traveling with the pyramids, learning from the aliens, and that she's from Pleiades.
Okay.
From the Pleiades, luring is the race.
And the aliens that are from Pleiades are like super white Nordic aliens, like blonde hair, blue eyed, like, you know, Hitler would love them. So she's got dreadlocks, which is, you know what, I've looked into it. It's, you know, people all over the world, including white people, have been wearing dreadlocks for fucking thousands of years. But it's just her whole fucking vibe.
It's not the right vibe for her. It's because she's like doing
because she's doing everything else, and she's, you know, appropriating indigenous terms from cultures that she fucking, dude, people chased Lori Vallow off of, I forgot which Hawaiian island she was on, Maui, because she said that she was the goddess Pele. Like, you just don't go and fuck around. But this bitch has, see, look, I'm mad, and we're gonna get to that but she has almost 300,000 listeners a month on Spotify,
which is wild to me.
She's, you know, appropriating indigenous cultures and then calling herself a savage and making pornographic materials and making a shit ton of,
to be fair,
money
she could be
off of it.
She could have an OnlyFans and just be like rubbing her feet together. Like, we don't know that it's pornographic.
Okay. Well, I guess when I say pornographic, I mean referring to a fetish.
Oh, okay.
Because whatever you're doing on OnlyFans, I could just be fucking eating burgers and staring in the camera. That is people's jam.
I repeatedly
dude.
like kind of ask you to send me ASMR coffee making videos. So I do love it.
You do.
But not for the sex reason. Not for sexual purposes. I do not gratify like myself to the sound of coffee beans. That's terrible. Can we delete that out of the whole thing?
Liar. No, this is uncut and raw. No, don't worry. I just erased your little sexual comment with that. So basically, the Pleiades aliens are AKA the Nordic aliens, Scandinavian, blonde hair, blue eye, tall, fair skin. Scholars note that the mythology of extraterrestrial visitation from beings with features described as Aryan.
That's
Aryan.
Right, you said.
So, also, she says that she's from the planet, I want to say Lyra. And then I swear to God, I'm going to get off of this. I just
what's this bitch's name?
I just had to tell you really quick.
Okay.
Shanin Blake. And then Lyra is it's a highly evolved being from different parts of the universe. They possess innate healing powers. Oh, she said she healed her own kidney.
Oh.
Kidney infection, I healed that too. I've been doing things your brain can't compute. They'll say it's magic, but you could do it too. Just open up your heart and let it channel through.
This episode has surprised me at nearly every verbal turn since we hit the record button. It is definitely not what I was expecting.
So you guys, welcome back to That's So Fucked Up, a podcast about, a comedy podcast, a respectful one, about cults and crime and other fucked up stuff like very white women. Look, she says that she has roots of other,
that makes you say, ugh, that's so fucked up.
But she makes me say, ugh, that's so fucked up. I was watching a video about her earlier and I was like,
we're on the train and it's speeding out of the station.
Look, I mean, do you, but just like, don't steal everybody else's personality and culture in the meantime. Also, her music sounds just like a Black artist named, ironically, No Name, but she's a Black artist. She's a woman, and this Shanin chick, her music sounds weirdly a ton like this other artist who was out before her. So yeah, not great, not loving it. So, that's some of the stuff we talk about, you guys. And
usually before we hit the record button, this time you're along for the ride with us.
Well, that's kind of what this is. Like I said, this episode is raw and uncut.
Say raw one more time. So raw.
Raw. Which means that, we are not going to edit it because that's time and energy and resources. And those are things that we are kind of out of. And you guys, if you don't know who we are, this is an interesting episode to tune into for your first one. I would
hit stop right now.
I would recommend hitting pause. Go to a different one. I mean, hey, we're letting it all hang out here, but we're not going to be getting into a ton of true crime today. Should we tell them who we are in case they are here and they're like,
I am on the edge of my
Nobody
seat
tells
waiting
me what
to tell them who I
am. Well, why don't you go first?
We're your hosts.
I mean, please be
my guest. How do I say it? And I'm Fallon Mori. No, that's how it usually goes. That's part of my first
Ashley
name.
Richards. Yeah.
And I'm Fallon Mori. No, it's just Fallon Mori. My parents did not name me and I'm. It's just Fallon.
Just Fallon. And yeah, so welcome back, guys. This episode is not so much an episode,
an update,
as much as it is a check-in, an update. Last week we did a little bit of an update check-in too, but we had a really great recommendation in there. Y'all, if you haven't watched Baby Reindeer yet, Fallon, you know what? Get the fuck out of my face.
Throw my headphones
you
down.
Guys, seriously, so highly recommend. And also there was a preview for the Kundalini episode that's exclusively on Patreon. So we are here for more updates. And the update is about us and what we're going to be doing for the next couple weeks, which is taking a little mental health break because, Fallon, I don't know about you, except for I 100%
except for I'm
do.
lying and I know everything about you.
And I know that we both definitely need this. I just, the podcast just celebrated 4 years, and that's so incredible. But sometime a couple years ago, I think I stopped taking season breaks.
And you deserve a break every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, not only it is a deserving, but it's about needing. So, guys, I'm gonna get real honest with you today because you're my friends, and that's what I like to do, and I like to practice what I preach and be transparent. So, I don't know if anybody's noticed, But for maybe the last like 6 months, I have been doing pretty not great. I've had pretty bad anxiety and I think a lot of complex trauma stuff. And then just like a lot of family situations have come up, and there's been some health scares. It's just been a lot. And some of the content that we cover can be pretty triggering as well. We talk a lot about narcissists and sexual assault and other people's trauma. And even if it's a story that I can't super personally relate to, like I've never been to a troubled teen institution. My mom didn't have Munchausen by proxy. I'm not somebody who was adopted from a foreign country and then aged up as an adult and abandoned. I'm talking about Gypsy Rose Blanchard and Natalia Grace Barnett and the troubled teen industry. Like those are all actually like pretty triggering topics for me, because they do all have certain aspects that, remind me of situations in my life. And Fallon, I'm sure you can relate to
I mean, especially when we do episodes about like ex-partner violence, or like when we did the episode about stalking, like it's a cool case to cover, but it gets super triggery for me too. And there's just like a lot of heavy stuff that comes up that I think would kind of, after a long time covering stuff, would set anyone off as well.
Yeah. We're always encouraging you guys like, oh, make sure to take care of your mental health.
And then we don't listen to ourselves.
And then, yeah, I was like, we need to set by example.
I agree.
We're both feeling like we're running ourselves into the ground. Then we should probably honor ourselves trying to communicate to us,
Yeah.
and take a little breaksy. I generally feel pretty good about having quite a bit of self-awareness and emotional intelligence, and I've been doing therapy for a long fucking time.
Yeah.
But sometimes I still don't, like, I'm not clocking what's going on and what my body or my being is trying to tell me.
Right.
Like for a couple months now, I've been having really frequent panic attacks. I've been having like nightmares and night sweats super bad for a couple months as well. Sometimes I just like don't know how to slow down, and I'm like, nope, just keep going. And I couldn't cry for like 3 weeks, which is very, very unlike me. And, I told you guys a couple months ago that I was celebrating 9 months of sobriety.
9 years, right?
And that's it. 9 years. Thank you. Last week, we had a technical difficulty. And because of that, and only that, I decided to drink a bottle of wine. It was, definitely not the technical difficulty, but that's just what set me the fuck over the edge. And, I want to be transparent with y'all, because a lot of you have been so awesome and messaged me and told me about your own journeys with sobriety and been very vulnerable with me. And I don't want to act like I have all my shit together, in case anybody was like, well, Ashley seems like she has her shit super together. I don't think anybody was thinking that. But if you were, like, guess what? Surprise. I don't. Yeah, I just wanted to be like honest with you guys about that. But the thing is that I am actually so grateful that I'm not currently in AA, because like I don't look at that as erasing all of my fucking years of sobriety.
All of you would be feeling right now is shame from people in AA, I am guessing. And I think that if anything, like little bumps in the road like that are just like a good wake up call that, you know, like your body tells you like, okay, dude, if the 3 weeks of not crying was not enough and the frequent panic attacks, let me just like throw you one more so that you really fucking get what I'm trying to tell you.
Really, though?
And your body was like, no.
And it's weird because, like, you know, I do still use tools that I learned in AA. And one of them is like looking at the relapse before the relapse. Yep. And so I would like to sit down and do some journaling. I just haven't gotten around to it. But I, in hindsight, am like, bitch, like you were on your way.
Yeah.
Like I will go years sometimes without having any cravings. And like I was having quite a few cravings. And yeah, it just like hit out of nowhere like a Mack truck.
Told me a couple of months ago you had a day where you were like, you were actually having cravings and you didn't do anything. And maybe that should have been the first like, wait a minute. We should have taken a break. When that happened.
And I think I've said it a couple times since, and look, I'm sure there are people listening who got sober in AA, are currently sober in AA, have loved ones sober in AA, and I don't want to put any of that down. It just does not fucking work for me.
And you said before, like if not for AA, you said like you like it like really helped to kind of save your life a little bit, but now it's not the best.
I also had a really interesting conversation with somebody recently where I was like, yeah, you know, like AA did kind of save my life for a while. And they were like, did it or did you? And I was like, ooh, bitch. Because like, I don't believe in Jesus and stuff. So I don't feel like Jesus took the fucking wheel.
Yeah, no higher power.
I feel
was
like I got my ass up every day and went to a meeting and decided not to fucking drink. And I did some calculations today. And, you know, out of the last 3,500 days or some shit, I haven't drank for like 2,900 of them. Because I did have like a year and a half where I just, woo. But other than that, I've had just like little slips or lapses where it's one day.
Yeah.
The last time that, you know, I had a lapse as well was for one day. That was a couple years ago.
Right.
If I had to go to AA and say, I fucked up, I had one day of a slip and I'm a newcomer again.
I feel like
I've got 2 days today.
Yeah, I feel like that would like totally demoralize.
When I went out, as they call it in AA, for like a year and a half, I'd been sober for about 2.5 years. And then I got sunstroke and I was really fucking sick. I've told this story on the podcast before. I was super sick. I couldn't stop throwing up. I knew that weed would help. My roommates had some. I was like, fuck it. And then I went to AA and I said, like, I smoked weed because I got really sick. And everybody was like, you relapsed. And I was like, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, you did. And instead of me deciding, this whole other group of people decided. And at that point, I was like, well, fuck you guys. Now I'm going to go do some blow and get really hammered, because if you say I'm a failure, then I'm going to fail hard. And, you know, like, so I don't like being told that I'm fucking powerless and like, you know, I'm actually the one who drank a bottle of wine on Friday night, felt sick as fuck on Saturday, but also said, well, that was that. Let's deal with this hangover.
Told me I could be mean to you Saturday, but I could not be mean to you Friday.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, a big part of AA is that you have this like community to lean on if you fuck up. But guess what? Like, I have friends like Fallon, and shout out to my other friends who were there for me.
Yeah.
Like, and they didn't judge me. They were just like, hey, man, that happens. And be safe, you.
That's basically
and then
what I
fell
said.
asleep at like 8 o'clock.
Made Ashley send me a picture, told her to go put on her scary mean bonnet and her ugly place and get yourself happy. But I think that taking a break is a super, like what you were just talking about, a super empowering move. And I think we'd encourage just like everybody listening to look at what's going on for yourself. And if you're getting to that point where you're like, I can't, function like this anymore. I can't, I need a break from some activity, or I just need to take a pause on some things and figure out what makes me happy. Like, make sure you do that for yourself. And that's kind of what we're trying to do. But I think the good news we should talk about is TSFU is not going anywhere. So we still have awesome content.
We have an interview with Shelly Snow Pordia coming out.
Yes.
She's fucking amazing. We love her. She just released a book called The Cheating Wife, and I interview her about that, and it's great. And on the Patreon this week, we talked about my local cult, the Mr. Money Mustache cult, the Mustachians. The story of I was looking for a co-working space and I found a cult instead.
Whoa.
So
I'm excited to listen because I keep in my mind, they're a cult of people who have money and they all have to have a mustache, or his mustache is made of actual money. I'm just picturing like a spirally mustache made of dollar bills.
Those are both fun options.
But not right.
That unfortunately are not correct. Our patrons are also getting a new episode of Ash Learns the Bible. So don't worry, patrons. We wouldn't leave you hanging. And then we'll be back to regular scheduled programming on May 10th.
Yeah, we've released so much fun content this year. And if you're like me and you might be one of those work from home people and your morning commute and podcast listening time got taken away, use this few weeks to get caught up on all the stuff we've been up to if you're not, and be ready to listen to the new stuff when it comes out.
If you don't know, now you know. Mental Health Awareness month is in May.
Got you.
It's May.
It's gonna be May. I was about to do it.
I beat you. I beat you to it. Part of our mental health awareness campaign in May is after you do 17 seasons in a row of a show, take a break. Take a month off. So, you guys, we've done 17 seasons of That's So Fucked Up Presents, and it's been so much fun. But we are going to take May off to get ahead. We have a couple seasons that we already have in mind that we're super excited to record, but we do want to take a little bit of time to.
They need some attention. They are some intense seasons, and we need to pay them some time and love.
We never want to quality over quantity.
Yeah, we want quality over quantity.
That is what we want.
Yes.
That. So I think that's all.
Yeah, that's really it.
Yeah.
But I would say today is, oh, sorry, you're going to say something else. I was just going to say today is real as fuck, but we'll just stop there because it was not fucked up. It was awesome.
So we love you, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. And if you miss us in the meantime, go to our website, tsfuthepodcast.com. You can play bingo with old episodes. You can look at our fucking faces because those are on the website. You can find all of our social media. You could join our Patreon if you're like, man, I miss content. There's like 200 extra episodes over there. Yeah. So, also you could join our Discord, and that's like one of the only nice places on the internet. You guys have been around. Reddit is super mean. So is Facebook. Most of the internet's pretty mean. And our Discord is really nice. So come say hi, you guys. All of that at tsfupodcast.com. We love you. Goodbye.
Bum, 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 bum. That's fucked up. I'm so fucked up. Can't you see? It's just really fucked. That's fucked up.